VINCENZO'S Gold Crypto Investing. And some breaking news: Singapore central bank's actively reviewing its approach to regulate stablecoins, right? The Monetary Authority of Singapore is currently assessing its approach in regulating stablecoins of algorithmic stablecoins Terra UST, UST, and USD. As of now, stablecoins alongside cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are considered digital payment tokens under Payment Services Act, in which money laundering and terrorism financing are among the primary tackling points. I think it's supposed to be talking points in regulating regime, right? So this is something to pay attention to. While a strings of other high profile failures have taken hold since Terra meltdown, spillover to the mainstream financial system and the economy remains limited to this point. Shinga Mantama, whatever, I don't know how to pronounce Chinese names, says. So this is just something more that's starting to come out. And the United States is also actively starting to do this too, right? With wanting to regulate stable coins, and we'll get more into that. But another big news I'm going to get into on my next video. I got to kick off our night shift. It's take about an hour, and then I'm going to do this video talking about breaching upon what I was talking about, or adding on to the next global pandemic, monkeypox. The Global Health Organization declared it a global emergency, and now California and Illinois, the state that I'm in right now, have declared a state of emergencies for monkeypox for 1 month in the hopes of getting testing out there and blah, 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 blah. And they're already talking about how this is their time to act. And if they don't act now, we're going to get to a point beyond repair. The same things they were saying with COVID. This is just going to take a little longer. And this is all building up towards my climatic accumulation of what I think is going to be the unleashing of the next monetary printing extravaganza, where the United States government and world banks are going to use that to lower rates and to print money because of another pandemic, right? And I think the assets are going to skyrocket. Certain assets will skyrocket in stocks, but not all of them. A lot of stocks are going to remain like Japan in a stagflationary or an inflationary depression state for years and years to come. But certain things will go up. Inflation will continue to go up, and it's going to be a monetary. I think what they're going to do as they debase the currency so much, and like they've been, they're going to push us off of a cash system. And towards the end of this, in a year and a half, going into the election year of 2024, they're going to unleash the Fed dollar coin, where your dollars are going to be digital, and the cash, there will be no more cash, right? But I'm going to continue to elaborate on my theory and thesis that that's what's going to actually go on. Just like I told you when I started this, and they started talking about monkeypox, that was going to be the next global pandemic, and they've been priming the pump, and they're unleashing the beginning stages of what's going to get set into motion and lead you down a cascading effect to a cashless society and a social credit system in the United States. But as I digress, that'll be in the next video. What the fuck? Come on. Fucking shit was just working. As you can see in this next Bitcoin price, if this thing would work. It's so stupid how it works. Wouldn't work then, but it works now. You can see where we're at. We're back testing again. on this 23,000 uptrend in green, and we need to hold above that, or this is looking like we've been fearing a big mountain double top, right? And I did short a little bit earlier today, right there down on 25X, made, I think it was 30%. Use my Bitget partner link / Vincenzo down below up to a $5,000 based on deposit requirement exclusively if you use Vincenzo's link. It helps support the channel if you want to trade this volatility, right? But you can see if this thing keeps trading down and gets confirmed down back into here in the next day or two or three, you're going to trade back towards lower support on what I think is a rising, or what I think is a bear flag, right? Another bear flag. And we've been in multiple bear flags, and you can see we had one right there that we diagnosed, sniffed out, and detected out ahead of the competition. Another mini one right there on the mean of the local volume area. And then this one, and I think this too is going to break down. And everybody that thinks the bottom's in, right, they're going to be wrong. Just like they were wrong when they couldn't see a Bitcoin bear market until the price of Bitcoin was below 30,000. Then they saw we were in a bear market 11 months too late. They couldn't see the bear market rally on the second mountain double top. They just can't see it. They refuse to see it. They won't see it because they make too much money promoting their nonsense and shilling. Everyone's going to get rich if you just buy this coin tomorrow and everything's going to be rosy. And they don't warn you about Celsius, like Big Boy Crypto said Celsius token and Celsius Network with their lending platform was going to be a top 5 performing token and a top 5 performing company. Carl from the Moon says he makes all this money lending his money out on lending platforms, and he tells you there's very little risk, and you've seen them all come unglued. And he's obviously, if he's lending his money on these lending platforms, he would have took massive hits on these bankruptcies because these were the major exchanges or the major lending platforms that got hit, and they're all cascading and getting hit, and he's shilling nonsense. He couldn't see the bear market at 60,000 that it was topping out. He said 3 years ago we would be $150,000 to $400,000 by now. Last year he said by this year would be well over 100,000. It hasn't happened. They're shilling Bitcoin. Could Bitcoin one day get to 100,000? Yes. Is it going to get there like they've said? No. They've just been shilling you, and so far they got lucky on a big Fed-induced blow-off equity bubble, right? And it didn't even come anywhere close to what they were saying by now, but they're shilling you. You need to sidestep that and stick with Vincenzo. Support the channel. Become members of Jabroni Killers for as little as $38 a month. Use my Bitget partner link down below. That all helps support the channel to spread this message. So the next underneath target, if we fall back into here in the daily time frame, we've had 2 daily candles now in a row. Working on our third after the daily close in 10 minutes. That'll be 2 days in a row. And when I fear we're coming down to 20,500, and eventually we're going to come down to that $11,000 underneath target. XRP real quick before I got to walk into this building. You can see we're topping out too. We've had 2 bearish daily candles in a row right here at the 37 cents. This has been major resistance because that used to be a major support zone before you had another breakdown. And if we get rejected, you're going to trade back down to the 30 to 32 cents initially in XRP, and with an industry exclusive measuring tool from current price-ish, that's a 17-ish% drop, right? So that's what you need to watch out for there. And we'll wrap it up with Cardano, everyone's favorite Cardano. Cardano again too is on its upper resistance, and it appears to be like we drew yesterday after the candle started to top out, and now we're going to be 2 daily closes in a row negative here. I fear we may be coming down to the 42 cents, and then if we don't get any support, you're going to come all the way down to lower support at 31 cents since we've been in this falling channel for well over a year. If we zoom out in the daily time frame, you can see it's been a year next month in September. You can see August, the end of August. So at the end of this month, beginning of next month is when we hit our first upper resistance, and then it'll be a 1-year falling channel. So why wouldn't this pattern continue? Oh, that's not where I wanted to turn. Why wouldn't this pattern continue to do what it's been doing and trade down like it's been? I think it's gonna break down after come on, you fucking cunt. I think it'll eventually break down, but could it pump a little bit? Yes, but I think its next short-term move is actually coming down here to the 31 cents, but we'll keep an eye on that, and I'll keep you updated on everything that's going on in the crypto market, the breaking news around the world, COVID regulations, the next pandemic that I see it to give them economic an economic problem so they can open up the monetary spigots again and throw a Hail Mary to the fences and hope they can pump up an equity bubble, a housing bubble, and a big financial bubble and keep it from going into a depression and a stagflationary or an inflationary depression that's going to have cascading effects for a decade, right? And I'm going to continue on my thesis. And what I think's happening here is I've been keeping out ahead of the financials and monetary policy, calling for an inflationary depression last year when I started on this channel, when nobody was talking about high inflation but old Vincenzo and a few other people, right, that know economics and could see this coming. And I'll continue to keep you out ahead of it and link it and correlate it in the crypto and how that directly affects what the cryptocurrencies are going to do. Because as you know, one Bitcoin is still 100 million Satoshis, and 100 million Satoshis is still one Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is still cryptocurrency, and cryptocurrency is still Bitcoin. Like, subscribe, and share. Share it far and wide. Hit that ding bell notification to help support the channel. Use my links down below. Peace and love. Peace and love.